Hey, hello everyone, and thank you for joining another Foreman community demo. I'm Nufar, I'm an active developer within the Foreman project, and I'll be hosting the demo today. As usual, we have some updates to share with you and some new things we've been working on to share with you. If for any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us at the Foreman group chat on Metrics, or during the demo, you can also use the chat here on Google Meet. Okay, this is our agenda. Today we have two Foreman demos, a user-focused demo by Samir and a developer-focused demo by Ian. And we'll begin with Samir, who will present the default mirroring option for repositories. So Samir, whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Let me share my screen. Screen share. All right, and Ian just reminded me to mention Katello 417 GA is out. So the release announcement went out this morning. We merged the documentation stuff last night, and the packages should all be available now. So if you want to upgrade, go ahead. All right, and for my demo, I have a very small demo here. So we have added two new settings. So there was, can I go to the Redmine? Well, okay, the request was, so when you create a new repository, so let's go with type yum here, you'll see there's a field mirroring policy. And this used to be set to content only, I suppose. I think we had something hard-coded. I believe it was mirror content. So people wanted the ability to set this initial selection, because sometimes people don't actually look at this if it's populated and then later on realize it was set to something. So we went ahead and added a setting for the default mirroring policy for Yum repos. And there's a difference between what options you see for Yum repo. In Yum repo, you see an extra option. I believe it's additive. I can quickly confirm that. So if you choose something which is not Yum, so let's go with 5. Yeah, so mirror complete is the extra option on Yum. So this for files and for non-Yum repositories, you have a separate setting where you can set the default. And for Yum repositories, you can set a different setting where you can also choose mirror complete. So that setting lives under the settings page, content tab, and it's called default custom Yum repository mirroring policy. So for Yum, you can choose between all the 3 options that you saw on the previous page. And for non-Yum, again, you can see the 2 options that you saw on the new repositories page. So once this is set by default, I think both of them are set to mirror content only. Let me confirm that. Yeah. So by default, like if you don't set this, all of your repositories will get mirror content only mirroring policy. And if you want to control that further, you can always change it in the new repositories page. All right, and that was all for me.
Okay, thank you, Samir. We can move on to our last demo for today. Foreman, a developer-focused demo by Ian, building bootc images from Katello-hosted content. So Ian, whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thanks, Nufar. Let me just get my screen shared. Okay. So the demo I'm going to go over today is a user story for something that you can achieve with Katello already. This is something you could achieve as of Katello 4.16. And it has to do with bootc. So I'm going to be using this initial Red Hat blog as kind of a booster point here. This is like the original quick start guide for image mode. And I know this guide is all rel based, but this same tutorial works just fine for any of your other enterprise Linux based operating systems. You could do this. A good way to test this, and I do this frequently, is on like CentOS Stream, CentOS 9 Stream, or CentOS 10 Stream. So what's very cool that you can do with Satellite now is you can build bootc images based on content that your satellite is hosting. The general gist of this tutorial is you build a container image yourself based on some base bootc image. And then using that image that you built, you generate a QCal image that you can then spin up a VM with. Now, what's cool is that Satellite can host that image for you, and it makes it easy also thanks to the newer container push functionality we have. So I'll just scroll down really quickly with this tutorial. The very first step, well, get yourself all Podman logged in and all of that, is to, after that, is you need to grab a bootc image. And now this tutorial has you creating kind of a custom image with, you know, something users of image mode will certainly go through, customizing your image to have it fit your needs. In this case, they install a lamp stack. Then they go through and they build the image. Optionally, you can test it. Then you push it to a registry. In this case, it can be Satellite. You create a configuration file for building the QCal image. Then you use bootc image builder to actually build it, and then you end up with the QCal image. But I can show you how we can do that with Satellite, or with Katello. And so let me open up my terminal here. Make this a wee bit bigger. Okay, so actually, I'll go back here. In my Katello machine, you can see there are some images that were already pushed, but we'll be starting kind of before that setup. So back to my terminal. I have a folder here with some image mode related things that are needed for building. I've already gone through this. It takes a little bit, so I'll just be doing an ASCII Cinema thing to show you how it works. So without further ado, let's do the ASCII Cinema. So the very first thing that I set up here is a container file. I've started with the rel bootc 9.6 version. Again, you can change this to be CentOS if you want to just give it a try without any like subscription or anything. And then all I'm doing is I'm installing the Postgres server just to prove that this is not the base version. Now where we go from here, and sorry, the terminal's a little messed up, but I run this podman build command. I pass -t for the name of the image. And a little nice tip, I name it the exact same thing, but I'll name it when I push it to Satellite or to Katello. And the format here that's needed for pushing this content, if you don't know how container push works, is that you have to put the organization, then the product, then the repo name, and then optionally a tag. If you don't include a tag, the latest tag will be used. And then I target this container file. And then it starts building. If you haven't seen container building before, it runs the steps in the container file. And then at the end, you end up getting an image digest. So what we can do now is we can run podman push. And it's just, I just need to specify the image name because they match up. I don't even have to specify the digest. It just knows to push it to my Katello server. So it copies a whole bunch of blobs. It's saying it already exists because I did this previously. So now we can just go over. So it was the rel 9 bootc Postgres image, which I have here. We can take a peek at it. We can see we've got a couple of tags that I have, latest, and also I called it 9.6, and we can see the digest. So we've just verified that this is actually here. Now we can go back to the terminal. Now, actually, there's one thing I would like to show. Let's go back to my image mode things. So there's also this config JSON file you have to create. And so you build this QCOW image, you need some way to tell it like what kind of user you want, or maybe SSH keys. So I have there's this blueprint section with this JSON, and we have a name of the user, the password of the user, and any groups. And you can add a whole bunch more stuff in here. But that's just to give some context for what this next command is going to look like. OK, so let me dive into this. The terminal output is really strange, but let's actually let me let this go. OK, hold on. ASCII Cinema did something strange. Here, you know what? I have it in my history. This will be easier. So it's a podman run command. And it's huge. It's doing a lot of things, but we can parse this out. So the main thing, firstly, is it's running this bootc image builder. And this is necessary to turn your container image into a QCOW. It's using the run containers auth JSON. And it's using that because, in my case, my bootc image builder comes from registry Red Hat IO, and you need a token to get that. If you're using the image builder just on Quay, I don't believe you need this. And then there's also a path to the config JSON here. And then lastly, we actually have the container image. And once you run this, if all goes well, you end up with a QCOW folder here. You also get this manifest QCOW2.json. We can take a quick look at that. You don't have to worry about this, but it's lots of OS tree related information about your image. But yeah, what's most important is we now have this QCOW folder, ls QCOW directory, and then we have a QCOW2 disk. And what you can do with this disk now is you can use this for image-based provisioning in Foreman. And then you can have your machines be provisioned like that. We are planning at some point on creating a blog post on how to do Kickstart provisioning as well. That's nice because you can skip this whole part where you create a disk image. All you'd have to do is you could build your container locally, push it up to Foreman, and then it'll be something like you'll edit a Kickstart template, have it point to the right container image, and then you can Kickstart from there. And the aim in the future is for us to make that an actual feature in Katello, so you don't have to make edits to any Kickstart template. So anyway, in the future, there should be plenty of different ways to provision these image machines directly from your content that's hosted from your Katello. But that's really mostly my demo. Are there any questions about this stuff?
Okay, thank you, Ian. I don't see any questions. So yes, we can conclude this session for today. And next time is on July 3rd. And if there are no more questions, I would like to thank everyone for joining. And of course, for our great team, thank you for sharing our work with us today. And see you all next time.